Thanks for tuning in to Before the Kickoff, Red Zone Blitz. Your host Dave, your host Jack. The NFL Draft is just a couple days away. We got a lot of things to talk about. First things we're going to talk about here on the podcast is a couple of our predictions, kind of speculations that aren't really being talked about around the NFL, and then we're going to hit on Andrew Luck and RG3. So as of right now, I'm going to bring up the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are drafting number 7 overall in the draft. A prediction on my part, or a speculation, is the Kansas City Chiefs could trade up with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars have been mentioned to be wanting to trade back, and then have the Chiefs draft Ryan Tannehill in front of the Miami Dolphins at the 8th overall pick. Jack, I know you're a Miami Dolphins fan. What do you think? What is your opinion on that if the Chiefs decide to do that?
The past week and beyond, I've been pretty high on our general manager, Jeff Ireland, drafting Ryan Tannehill with our 8th overall pick, knowing our quarterback situation. But all in all, you do not draft a quarterback 8th overall for him to sit on the bench for the first year or two, you know?
I understand, but I mean, Jake Locker kind of had that happen to him in Tennessee last year. But yeah, I agree with you.
And his numbers were not pretty against top 12 defenses. He was 1-5 against not top 12 defenses, but the Big 12. He was terrible. His record is bad in there, and they weren't putting up the offensive numbers that they needed to do. They needed to put up to secure the win.
True. What about Blackman?
One amazing stat that I looked up on Ryan Tannehill, though, is he's 18-1, 18 touchdowns to 1 interception in the red zone last year.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty much the most impressive stat to me. But other than that, I don't really like him going to the Dolphins. I'd rather a secure pass rusher with our 8th pick.
What about Blackman in Miami is one of your speculations?
It's a lot more far-fetched than Kansas City trading up to Jacksonville, but you know, Justin Blackman's draft grade has definitely been hitting a downward spiral. Not completely, but he's definitely, in my mind, going to secure the number 1 spot pick for the receiver, even because this is definitely a pretty deep receiving class in 2012. So there's plenty of receivers to go around. It's going to be him and Michael Floyd. I have Cleveland getting Trent Richardson, you know. But the big talk is if the St. Louis Rams are going to get Justin Blackman. But lately, they've been Jeff Fisher, the head coach, has been pretty high on drafting defensive tackles, and Fletcher Cox has been skyrocketing up the draft boards lately, and there's been rumors that the Rams and Jeff Fisher, and instrumentally, may actually draft Fletcher Cox.
It's a possibility.
Justin Blackman.
It's possible because he's starting to go past Michael Brockers from LSU, Dontari Poe, who had a great combine. Everyone had him shoot up the draft boards. Now they're pushing him a little bit back. So, I mean, it'll be really interesting. I think Fletcher Cox could go in the top 10, but that's my opinion. Another team that we could hit on right now is actually the New England Patriots. They're drafting 27th overall and 31st overall. What if they package those 2 first-round picks for maybe a pick in the middle of the first round to grab a guy like Mark Barron?
What's good about that is the trade partner is actually going to get a lot of beef out of that too. They're not going to have a bad pick. And New England, they shocked me as well. But you know, I'm pretty sure they shocked a lot of people last year going in with that absolutely terrible secondary defense overall and going all the way to the big dance. But you know, in the end, lost to the New York Giants. But if they won that term, defense wins championships, might have to be debated a little bit more.
Exactly. I mean, they had, the 31st ranked defense, I believe it was.
Total yards,
they gave up a lot of yards. In the secondary, they could use safety help. Next to Patrick Chung, they could use some cornerback help. I know they drafted Rossai Dowling last year in the 2nd round. I believe it was the first pick of the 2nd round. But I believe he was hurt on and off last year. They could use secondary help. And I believe the Patriots, there's a chance they trade off for Barron, the best safety in this draft. Now,
another one of my predictions is Stephen Gilmore to the Carolina Panthers. He's a hometown guy, Rock Hill, South Carolina. Cam Newton over there had one of the biggest rookie seasons. I think it actually was the biggest rookie season out of any quarterback in history, coming over Peyton Manning too. You know, their record did not really reflect all that talent that's on their team, and their defense gave up way too many points, put up way too many pressure on the offense to overcome that. And the defense definitely needs to be solidified, especially in the secondary. And Stephen Gilmore could, you know, definitely overall affect
Well, I believe in the last 2 seasons, the Panthers' defense has been just plagued by injuries for one. So I mean that hurts a team. No matter how much offensive production you have, you always need to play defense, and that's one thing the Panthers haven't been able to do. Now, as addressing their secondary, they have Chris Gamble over at the cornerback. They could address cornerback in this draft. Originally, very, very early mock draft I had Drake Kirkpatrick, but his draft stock has fallen. They could use a cornerback. So hey, Stephon Gilmore's been shooting up the draft boards, so I don't see why not. He couldn't, might be drafted at number 9 to the Carolina Panthers. So transitioning over from our predictions to a prediction that it is not speculated anymore because it's official. The Colts will select Andrew Luck with their first overall pick. We're gonna debate a little bit here about Andrew Luck and RG3. First of all, Andrew Luck in Indianapolis, their offense has gotten a complete overhaul. Dallas Clark is gone. Pierre Garçon is gone. Jeff Saturday, he's gone. Obviously Peyton Manning is in Denver now. So, I mean, their offense is starting to transition. The only guy that they were really able to re-sign was Reggie Wayne. They are drafting early. They were the worst team, obviously, in this draft. So, I mean, what are some opinions on what Andrew Luck will be able to do in the next couple of seasons for the Indianapolis Colts?
He might have a breakout season his rookie year, but overall, they're not going to win the division or, be hyped up like that or anything. But it's definitely going to switch over to Andrew Luck's place. Peyton Manning's gone. They're definitely going to need some help after Reggie Wayne. I think his contract is 3 years, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I think they put him on a 3-year contract, and he's not going to have that many years to build chemistry with Reggie Wayne, and Reggie Wayne's going to be his number 1 wide receiver, so they really need to do something to, start thinking on the wide receiver spot after Reggie Wayne goes.
The other thing that's interesting that must be addressed with the Colts is when they draft in the second round, Kobe Fleener could be there for them if the Giants don't grab him at 32, because in the second round, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, the Rams are the first team drafting, and then it's the Colts. So they have the 34th overall pick. If Kobe Fleener's there, what if Kobe Fleener and Andrew Luck reunite from Stanford over in Indianapolis? That's I think is very interesting.
That would definitely give a huge boost to that team, the chemistry that's already there, I mean, you give anybody, Justin Blackmon to Brandon Whedon, would do the same thing.
That's interesting as well.
That can definitely win them some games.
And then let's talk about RG3. I mean, he's been talked about for the last couple months now. He's the Heisman winner. Talking about RG3 and Andrew Luck, I think Andrew Luck has the easier division to play in, but RG3 I think has more talent on the offense. They just brought in Pierre Garçon. They just they have Santana Moss. They have a couple running backs that he can hand the ball off to. I honestly think RG3 has his offense will be built a little bit better for success than Andrew Luck.
Definitely though, yeah.
But
it's the same thing with him and Andrew Luck. I really don't have them, either team making a bunch of noise, next season. Regardless, they definitely got to build up that chemistry with the overall team for the first few years, and then they'll start talking about division titles. But RG3, over the past month, just the talk of RG3 is just absolutely, it's gone all over the place. During the college football season, it was all Andrew Luck, suck for luck, Andrew Luck, You barely ever heard anything about RG3. It was Matt Barkley going back to college that brought in the RG3 talk,
Yeah.
Brought it back in.
Well,
and there's been more RG3 talk than Andrew Luck the past month or two, too.
I think the last thing that has to be talked about is the Colts' decision to go with Andrew Luck over Robert Griffin III. In my opinion, I would take Andrew Luck over RG3, although RG3's statistics in his last college season were better than...
Definitely better, yeah.
They were better than Andrew Luck, but Andrew Luck is just that elite talent that I believe he's going to be that franchise quarterback. He's
definitely a more Peyton Manning type quarterback too, for sure.
RG3 I think is more of a hybrid. He's going to be like a new generation quarterback that not too many people are going to be used to seeing. He's a pocket passer, but I think he can get the job done on his feet as well. So it's going to be really interesting to watch what RG3 does in Washington. But I mean, I would pick Andrew Luck over RG3.
Absolutely.
So that's all we really got for you guys for Before the Kickoff Red Zone Blitz. Tune in next week. We're going to have a post-NFL draft episode for you guys, kind of recapping everything, some of the surprise picks the teams made, some of the disappointments, and all that good stuff. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great day.